Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show. In this episode, we're going to look at the best New Zealand Warriors team ever versus the best West Tigers team ever. And just to make it clear for you people out there before you go, hey, what are you doing? I have put the best players from Balmain and Western Suburbs into this team too, just to make it clear that I just didn't pick New West Tigers players. So let's have a look at these two squads and see who ranks as the better team. First off, we're going to start at fullback. We got on one side Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, who currently is trying to make the All Blacks team, but more than likely maybe back at the Warriors in 2024. That you haven't heard that right. He wants to stay in New Zealand, and I think they want him and Shaun Johnson to play together at least one season. Whether Shaun Johnson retires before then, we'll see. But I believe Shaun Johnson will play another season to play with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. That's my mail. But anyway, getting back to this, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck versus Brett Hodgson. This is a tough one because they're both very similar players. They were very good defensively, could read defense well. They're both defensive fullbacks more than attacking. To me, yeah, that was a tough one. I've gone for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, but to be honest, you could have ticked either side for this. Let's have a look at the wing. The wing, for the Warriors, it was so hard to pick the wingers. The ones they missed out here, Henry Fa'afili, Francis Meli, Brent Taden, more of a centre with the Warriors, but could be in the conversation. So these are three players that didn't make the team. This is how good. So who I went for, obviously Manu Vatuvai, just picks himself, but another fan favourite, some people have forgotten about, Sean Hoppe, who was very good for the Bears as well. Sean Hoppe was a gun player. And on the other side was Pat Richards, and because Tim Brasher could have been easily fullback as well, but I had to put Brett Hodgson in the team, so Tim Brasher goes onto the wing. So to me, the Warriors wins there with both players hands down. Tim Brasher, very good player, but not really a winger, so that's pretty much what happened there. Now, the centre pairing was a tough one to pick here, but I had to go for the original Dean Bell and Clinton Taupi from the Warriors, and Chris Lawrence and Andrew Leeds. Very good players, both sides very consistent, but I had to go for Dean Bell and Andrew Leeds as the better centres of the squad, so I reigned them pretty even in the centre pairing. Now the halves. Again, this is very good halves pairing. Shaun Johnson and Stacey Jones. And this one is probably a little bit more controversial for people out there. But Benji Marshall, and to me, well, between him and Steve Menzies, Jason Taylor, they were my two favourite players growing up. So Jason Taylor gets my nod at the West Tigers when he used to play for Western Suburbs, because he was very good for the Western Suburbs when he was playing there, Jason Taylor. Yes, so to me, this is a good tale of what happened. BG Marshall went to his heights and then he dropped, and then he went back up to the heights again. Where this other player on the other side, Shaun Johnson, started off high and never really reached the potential afterwards. He had one good season at the Sharks, but unfortunately for him, he got injured right at the end of the season, which cost the Sharks any chance of doing good in the finals, and ultimately they lost John Morris's coaching gig. But unfortunately Shaun Johnson, he's in the best team, but very much could have been the greatest player. But the greatest player for the Warriors ever is Stacey Jones. Well, there's arguments that you could put someone else in there, but Stacey Jones beats Jason Taylor hands down there. Unfortunately, even though he's one of my favourite players, Jason Taylor, but Stacey Jones, he was the better player. I've got to admit it. Going to the props, the Warriors props, the two props I wanted to have had to be put in other squads. So Ruben Wiki and Steve Price miss out on this team, but they would have clearly made the best 17 for the Warriors. So don't get me wrong, they would have been in this best 17, but for the purposes of the thing, I didn't want to have two people in two teams because I wanted to have it all. So everyone got their go. So both of them missed out on their squad. So Jerry Seasu and was struggling, but I just went for fan favourite Haicho Okasini. So against Blocker Rich and John Scandalis, it was a bit of a Blocker Rich hands down the best player, but after that all the other ones are muchness, so I thought pretty even. Then we look at this. This is where it was getting interesting for both teams for me. They're both very good. Ali Lawatiti offloading and the consistency of Michael Luck and Simon Mannering, it would be an absolute outstanding team if you had those three players in your team. Paul Langmack, Les Boyd, toughness, and Wayne Pearce. Wow. This could be the best locks competition out of all of them, just in a whole for big squad. Yes, to be honest, you could pick all six. I really struggled. I really struggled. I just knew how good Les Boyd was, so I took him over Michael Luck. But Ali Lawatiti and Simon Mannering are some of the best to ever play for the Warriors, and I just couldn't go against them. But Paul Langmack and Wayne Pearce are great players in their own right. Then we got to the bench, and this is where, hands down, the Western Suburbs, Balmain just absolutely carved up. Tommy Rodonigus beats Lance Ohio. That's pretty simple. Noel Kelly beats Alan Gutenbiel. And this was a bit tougher. Paul Sirenen beats Kevin Campion. People would argue otherwise. But I thought with the Warriors, and I was going to put him in the starting line, but I just put him on. Ben Matalino, he beats Chris Hynington for me. So this was an nail biter. 9 points to 8, this one. So 9 players picked against 8. So this was a nail biter. Drum roll, please. The winner of this round is the New Zealand Warriors. They make it to the top 8. They've just missed out the West Tigers, but they just didn't quite have enough talent to get them over the line. That shows you the New Zealand Warriors. And if you look at the list of the New Zealand Warriors, players that didn't make the list, even though I'm a bit biased because I probably know more about it, been to a lot of the games. But Francis Malley, Henry Farfeli, Jerome Ropati could easily been in the team. Brent Tate, I mean, you could have put all those 4 in, would have been good. James Maloney could have been argued in front of Sean Johnson. Dennis Betts, he was a very good player. Gene Namu as well, so there was a bit of tossing in for who should be the number 6. PJ Marsh could have been looked at number 9 as well. Sorry, I didn't talk about the 9s today. Sidiru and Benny Elias. And Benny Elias once again, but Sidiru was very good for the Warriors back in the day. Brent Webb could have been looked at as fullback as well. So, and obviously Steve Price and Ruben Wiki were originally picked, but then when I realised the other squads, they were just taken out just for the purposes of we wanted to have a good old chin wagon. I didn't want to have 2 players and 2 teams, and it would have been chaos. But anyway, looking on the other side of the fence, a lot of good back rowers. Gareth Ellis, Keith Galloway, Robbie Farah, Scott Prince, all unlucky not to be in the squad, and there would be a lot more other players as well. But that's just where I went with this one. I hope you enjoyed this. There'll be plenty more videos of this as we continue the countdown from the top 16 teams as we nut it down to the top 8. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care out there.